Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Gavin Richard Presents. I'm Gavin Richard. Hope everyone is having a good night. A lot has been going on in the news lately. I'm gonna do some separate videos on each of them, or I'll try and conglomerate them later on. But I did want to talk about some breaking news that happened earlier today. I read that the Department of Justice is reopening the investigation into Emmitt Till's murder. And for me, first and foremost, I don't know what new evidence that they have, but I think it's a nothing burger. Not that I'm disrespecting Emmitt Till's family or his memory in any way. Obviously, if there are other principles, we call them principles in Louisiana, but other states say accessory before the fact. If there's any other principles or accessories before the fact, people, which means people that aided in the commission of this murder, then yeah, they should be prosecuted. But let's be honest. You really think they're going to prosecute a 85-year-old person or 84 person in their 80s who's near death for a murder that took place over 60 years ago? Let's be real with that. Yet alone with the Department of Justice that we have, the state of Mississippi, they can always, just the history of Mississippi, and I know the Department of Justice, that's a different branch, that's the federal branch that deals with civil rights. They can only bring civil rights charges against Carolyn Bryant, and Carolyn Bryant was the woman who accused Emmitt Till of whistling at her, and she's admitted recently to a biographer who was researching the Emmitt Till case, author, news reporter. I say biographer, but a news reporter, and spoke with her, and she said that the incident that's allegedly caused this, which there's not even a defense for it, whether it happened or not, but she admitted that Emmitt Till never whistled at her, and that was the reason why Carolyn Bryant's husband and her brother-in-law, or I believe his brother-in-law at that time, went on and murdered this child, took him from his grandparents' home, his great-uncle's home, murdered him, found him 3 days later, and his body was mutilated. And God bless Mamie Till Mosley, Emmitt Till's mother. She wanted an open casket funeral so that the world could see what they did to her son. And she did this, and that was placed in, Jet magazine, Ebony magazine during the time, and it really woke up this nation, black people in this nation. I should be more specific, to do something. Even Muhammad Ali, when he saw it for the first time, that really changed him. He talked about that. You saw in the movie Ali with Will Smith. Rosa Parks even said how it affected her. Because right around the time Emmitt Till was killed, that was in 1955, if I'm not mistaken. So that following year, this happened in the summer of 1955, and later on during that year, the Montgomery bus boycott started. And Martin Luther King, as we know, led the Montgomery bus boycott after Sister Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white man on December 1st, 1955. Truth be told, there were bus boycotts going on before the Montgomery bus boycott. There was one in Baton Rouge in the early 1950s that T.J. Jemison was part of and had started. But you don't hear about that too often. So Louisiana actually played a very important role in the civil rights movement, black leaders here. But truth be told, do I think there's going to be any charges brought from this? I don't think so. This Carolyn Bryant lady, I understand too, her son is a governor somewhere, I believe in Carolina. She's living in Carolina now. The crime happened in Mississippi. So I just don't think anything's going to happen from it. If something did, I would be very surprised. And, if it does bring closure to the case, if it brings justice to the family and the family members that are still alive. I believe he has cousins and relatives, Emmitt Till did, that are still living. I'm assuming they're still living. I remember they were trying to get Lil Wayne's rap single pulled because he was insulting the uh, Emmitt Till. He had a line in one of his songs. I can't remember the title of the song, but about beating the pussy up to like Emmitt Till. That was what the lyric that Lil Wayne said, and that was just stupid. But at any rate, if it gives justice for them, I'm cool with it, and I would be happy with it. But I just don't think that something like this would happen. But who knows what the new information is? She could still be prosecuted, and that's another thing. When we talk about the different branches, the state could have actually prosecuted her if they wanted to because she lied. And was she the one? Did she aid in any way in this murder? That's going to be the question. You know, Obviously she lied about it, that the harassment didn't happen, which, yeah, that was the main reason why these men went out, although it's not an excuse or a defense. What they did was atrocious. And that's another thing. These men could get acquitted for killing a kid. Then they could do a magazine, go talk in a magazine and brag about how they murdered this child. That's the world that black people lived in the 1950s. And to some degree, we still live in that era because we see these police shootings. And I saw this with the documentary on Stars. You should Stranger Fruit. If you haven't seen the documentary, it's about the Michael Brown shooting. You need to watch the documentary because they bring up a lot of interesting points that we've always said about the shooting and things that you didn't hear that the mainstream media ignored. So take a look at those. At any rate, guys, I wasn't going to do a long video, but I know it had been a week. A lot is happening. I need to follow up on, but just holler at your boy. But that's my thoughts on this Emmitt Till thing. And feel free to leave a comment. Hope you like the video. If you don't like the video, I don't know what to tell you, but you're free to disagree, and I just ask that you be respectful. All right, peace. Have a good night.